Assalamu alaikum and good morning, Wolverhampton and Walsall and beyond. You are listening to Iman 1, which is your local radio station 24/7 all year round. And also, it's time for Loose Sisters here on a Sunday morning. So, I'm your host, Alvina Ali, bringing you an hour of honest conversations, strong opinions, a bit of laughter, and a lot of real talk as well. Now, today's show is extra special because we are celebrating International Women's Day, a day recognised around the world to celebrate the achievements of women and highlight the ongoing journey towards equality. Now, here on Loose Sisters, we like to keep it real. So today we'll be talking about women who inspire us, the pressure women still face today, and how men can support gender equality. And we'll even be discussing women supporting women through charities and donations as well. Now, we'll also have a fun round for the panel and plenty of chances for you, our listeners, also to take part. So if you want to join us this morning, and join in the conversations, give us a call on 01902 972 150 or drop us a WhatsApp on 074 440 420 432. It's as simple as that. Right, let's meet the panel who will be celebrating, debating, and probably arguing with me in the next round. I can see that happening. Right, so let's introduce first of all. I have Sunita Banga. Now, Sunita is the Equality, Diversity and Inclusion lead midwife at the incredible, I will say, the Royal Wolverhampton NHS Trust. Now, which is basically means that Sunita spends her days making sure everyone is treated fairly, babies arrive safely, and systems actually work. So Sunita, as you can see, is well organised, she's compassionate, and she's the kind of person who probably has a spreadsheet for absolutely everything. So Sunita, welcome.
Oh, thank you very much. My head is swelling after that introduction. Thank you very much.
Right, and do you want to quickly mention your TikTok as well and where people can still...
Yeah, I do TikTok videos. So if you want to follow me, it's Sunita Banga, midwife, and I do them in Punjabi. So for people that don't understand everything that's said to them, they often ask questions. So I just make a really short video and just answer that specific question regarding their pregnancy. So I also run a baby bank. So for women who are less fortunate in Wolverhampton, I've set up a referral pathway. So health professionals refer to me, and then I can organise donations that people can get if they can't afford them, such as Moses baskets, nappies, wipes, baby clothes, maternity clothes, whatever comes in. I just send it out to whoever needs it.
Brilliant.
So that's what I do in my spare time, really, apart from being a full-time midwife.
Wow, jack of all trades. Right, okay, next we have Iram Iqbal. Now Iram is an IT specialist, which means when the rest of us panic because our laptop freezes or we've forgotten our password for the 700th time, Iram is the person calmly fixing everything. Now, she's the tech brain of the panel. So when we talk about modern life and technology today, she's the one keeping us grounded in reality. Welcome, Iram.
Oh, thank you. Thank you so much, Alvina, for having me on the show. And looking forward to a good, interesting discussion as always.
Yeah, it's good to have you back as well, I've got to say.
Thank you.
Thank you for that. Right, next up is Fozia Asif. Now, Fozia is a secondary school teacher, which means she deals with teenagers all day. And if that doesn't qualify you as a patient, resilient, and slightly superhuman, nothing will. Now, she's a voice of reason when debates get heated, although sometimes she starts the debates herself. So welcome, Fozia.
Assalamu alaikum. Thank you for having me, Alvina. Looking forward to the show today and the topic that we're going to be discussing with our audience.
Excellent, thank you. We should have a loose brother coming, but I wonder where he is. He's probably overslept knowing him. But anyway, if he does come, we will introduce him as and when. So, today's topic, as you all know, it is International Women's Day. So we are going to be talking about women who inspire us, okay? So like I said, it's all about celebrating women and us who have made a difference, whether globally, nationally, or just in our own homes. So sometimes the most powerful role models are women in our everyday lives. So panel. Who is a woman who has inspired you the most in life? Now, sometimes, remember, inspiration doesn't come from celebrities. It comes from moms, grandmothers, teachers like our lovely Fozia, or friends like yourselves who have showed strength when things get difficult. Yeah.
I'll make a start.
Yes, please.
Yeah. My inspiration has always, primarily been my mother, because she's the devil's advocate, I would say, always criticizing, telling me, pushing me. But I would like to mention, at a stage in life where I wanted to do, especially around COVID, where I was, I was looking for a meaning. I must say, Alvina, you were a big inspiration. And
Was I?
yes, and you not only inspired me to, to think about things, but we came up with Secret Angels, and I was like,
yes.
and the way you carried it forward, because I couldn't, I'll be honest with you, but that is truly inspirational, and it's commendable. So I did want to make that mention, because it did give me a very different perspective to life.
Oh, that is so nice of you, Iram, to say that, because I'm going to sort of step back from Secret Angels. Before, when we actually met, was obviously through our daughters, because they were both going to the same schools. And where Iram's coming from is that I used to work for another charity, and I set up a food bank there. And I always used to post constantly on my WhatsApp statuses. And that's where you picked up, wasn't it?
Yes, that's right.
And that's where Iram then joined me. Forces, helping there, packing the food, distributing it and everything. And then, like you correctly said, Secret Angels developed from that, didn't it?
Yeah. So and it was inspirational to see how you can make things happen, and that's what I've seen Alvina do that. So
we were just previously discussing how she's always persevered in it as well. Whereas someone like me, I did mention earlier, would have said, okay, round 2, that's enough.
It is hard work. Like I was saying to you before, it's like a full-time job in itself as well, So alhamdulillah, I've got the supporters behind me, I've got the secret ambassadors behind me, and I've got people like yourselves. So that's what really is keeping me going. So
and you've won a lot of awards as well, haven't you?
Yes, alhamdulillah, we have.
Well deserved.
Yes, the most one, which I have to say, is the King's Award. We went through a lot of scrutinizing and paperwork checking and everything like that, and alhamdulillah, because I like to keep on top of things. It took I think my interview alone took 2 hours. Right, and then the other volunteers who were working the food bank and stuff, who were there at that time, they were seen to while they were working, and the lieutenant officer actually witnessed them doing the work, and she was just overwhelmed what they were doing and stuff like that. But out of that, another 13 questions came after that visit. So again, I had to evidence everything, support it, and alhamdulillah, we got there.
It was quite a bit stringent process, isn't it?
It is, because it's just constantly there on your mind. You don't even know whether you won or not. So when the King's birthday was on the 14th of November, they announced it on the day, but they tell you a week before, but you have to keep it stum. You cannot mention anything. And can you imagine how hard that is?
Yeah, of course.
Yes. You know what I mean? So it is. So, but you know what? I'm just pleased that we have achieved this. And like Iram correctly says, when we met together, we actually thought about setting up. We were thinking of ourselves as secret angels. You might as well use that. Because do you all know Charlie's Angels?
Oh, yes.
The program. Remember when we were thinking about the names? Yeah, so we came up with Secret Angels, and thought that was perfect, wasn't it, for what the aim, what we want to do. But obviously, through social media, nothing is secret. But obviously, when you're giving charity, it's best to be done in secret, so to speak.
Isn't it,
Yeah, that's right. But if it wasn't for social media, I don't think we'll be I don't think we would have been where we want to be. So it sort of helps promote the services. The service users out there get to see you, they get to know about you, and they tap into your services, and that's what's good about social
It's
media.
rewarding as well, isn't
It
it?
is. It is a lot rewarding. Yes. Yeah. Okay. So thank you. So your mother's been the person who's sacrificed a lot for the family, and you've
Yes.
learned from your mother. I think most of us can relate to that as well,
Yeah,
can't we?
definitely.
What about teachers? I mean, teachers obviously, they're like our mothers, really, aren't they? And we believe in them, and they're the ones that encourage us to get to where we want, what we want to do in life. Fozia, you want to add to that?
Yeah, I think I love my mum. Firstly, I will say that,
Yeah.
for definite. There's a few good points I have taken from her, but I think my main role model would have been a teacher or auntie friend. She's really helped me a lot in life and shown me what a woman can do and is able to do. I remember the shock when I first went to her house when I was younger, and she's ripping the carpet off the floor as I was growing up around her. And I said, "Are you seriously about to relay new carpet yourself?" She said, "Yeah, of course I am."
Wow.
Yeah, and she was decorating and painting, and it was not the done thing, was it, back then, especially for ladies? It was more of a man's job to do.
Yes.
And she's inspired me in so many different ways. So I picked up so many things from her. And she was a teacher, like you said, head of department, became SLT, assistant principal as well in the school, and raising her children at the same time as well, mashallah.
Yeah.
And I think that's what helped me to think, yeah, actually, you can manage it and you can do a lot in life. Alhamdulillah.
Good, good, good. Sunita, what about you?
I'm going to have to say I cannot pick one person. I have got so many incredible people around me, and I am surrounded by really good friends. I've seen them take on tough challenges as being a parent, you know, running their own businesses, being a wife, being a partner, being, you know, they've just take on so many roles. My mum, obviously,
Yeah.
I've watched my mum and I've learned a lot about marriage and how to, what a good marriage looks like. And last year in end of November, we celebrated my mum and dad's 50th wedding anniversary. And that was a superb, you know, party that we managed to put together. But everybody couldn't speak more highly of my parents. But my mum, she is absolutely incredible. I've learned how to cook from my mum. All these attributes that I do have, a lot of people say, "Oh, that's a really good quality to have." And deep down, I always think, you know what, I've got that from my mum. My sisters, again, you know, some of them are going through really tough times. I've got a sister going through divorce at the moment, but the way she's looking after her children and showing up every single day, that's phenomenal.
Yeah.
I've got a sister who's running a business and she works really hard. I won't go on about myself, but obviously I wear lots of different hats, but I just think generally women really are amazing.
Can I, yeah, sorry.
It's okay.
Yeah.
Go on.
I just wanted to add, you know, a lot of women out there, like, they prefer to be homemakers as well. You know, a lot of women think that National International Women's Day is more to do with a career-based life, or, you know, you have to be doing something else, which is, you know, helping the community and whatnot. Of course, you want to do that as well. However, when you've got young children and a younger family, it's not easy to manage everything.
No, you're right.
Yeah, so being a
Everything starts at
homemaker,
home,
yes,
doesn't
it does, definitely. So if you
No, I
put
agree
those
with you.
foundations down for your children, they'll grow up and be, you know, good citizens for the society as well, and that can have a benefit as well.
Definitely. Now, obviously, like you said, it's often the women who are closest to us that help us shape who we are. We've talked about our moms, colleagues, friends, sisters. Now, sometimes they may not even realise that they are the influence that, you know, that we've had. And like correctly, as you says, I've got to say that my mom has been a great influence on me as well. Watching her being totally independent and being a very confident woman. Obviously, Fozia, you'll know.
Yeah,
Iram,
definitely.
you'll know. You know, and if it wasn't for my mom, I don't think I would have been where I am today. So, you know, hats
I
off
think,
to all
yeah,
our moms.
growing up around Auntie, she was like the Iron Lady of Wolverhampton.
She
you
is
know?
that you?
Yeah, that's how I saw her, you know.
Oh, bless you. Thank you for that. So, yeah, I take her everywhere with me. You've probably seen her at our Secret Angels events and stuff like that.
Yeah,
So,
sure.
yes. Okay. So we talked about women who inspire us. Let's talk about... go on to another question now. So do you think then that women today have more opportunities than previous generations? Now, we've definitely seen progress in education, careers, leadership, but are there still barriers that women face every day?
I think the opportunities are there, but do they always take them? I think that's an argument as well to be had. I know lots of women, and I just think, why are you not doing this? Why are you not taking that opportunity?
Yeah.
And I feel like I need to give them a push, but I have to stop myself because I've learnt myself that you can't do things for people. They have to get to a point where they take that leadership, that, you know, that opportunity, really take it by the hand and run with it.
I've got to say, Sunita, you touched on leadership, and it's great to see the work that you are doing because you are inspiring other women as well.
I hope so.
I'm sure you are. Again, you've through work as well, you've gone through different policies and things like that. You're obviously meeting women every day. You're meeting mothers. So has anybody that you know that you can use as an example where they have obviously been inspired by you?
I think I've met lots of junior staff, student midwives as well. They really can't believe what I'm doing because what they're taught in midwifery, it's all about the body, this is what happens, this is what happens in hospital. But when they come out into the community, for example, they really see the poverty in Wolverhampton, they see the issues that we have. And really, I know we've got baby banks, we've got charities, which it's a system, isn't it? You have to apply, you have to wait, you've got to go on a certain day. I think with the baby bank that I run, luckily, because it's all run from a home, I can literally sort things out there and then. So sometimes it's the weekend and, the hospital might ring me and they say, we can't discharge a lady because she hasn't got a Moses basket at home. Are you able to help? And actually I can. It just means that somebody needs to collect it from me. So I've had to draw the line. I can't do all the delivering and collecting. So I've set it all up so it's all running from a home. But, it's working well.
That's great.
It's working really well.
That's good to hear. Now, Iram, obviously you're in the tech industry. Now, usually I would think it's always male dominated, but how does the tech industry now encourage more women?
So I think with the change in concept about working from home has definitely helped because, you're able to get the work-life balance.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then I know that certain companies, especially some, the ones that have an established curriculum, they have started engaging in bringing back women into the mainstream when they've had a career break due to lifestyle, life phases or the events, for example, if you've had a child, people have had to take a break and then, they're out of touch and then they're hesitant, like you said, they've been great leaders, but then they become hesitant. Oh, will I be able to do that? Will I be?
Yeah, definitely.
And yes. And irrespective, there is still an element of bias. There's still some elements of gender inequality because, it's just taken, oh, she's got a child. I mean, I've seen people ask this question indirectly, although it's not supposed to be, but how are you going to manage the child? If somebody's come to the interview table, she will manage. The fact that she's come and arrived on that table itself shows that she will manage. Now, there will be some support that she will expect from you. But, it's just that. But I think over the last couple of years, especially post-COVID, with all this change and then AI coming into play, amazing. It's been a game changer.
Wow.
It is, because I think AI thinks like a woman. I sometimes feel that.
It probably is a woman.
Because, some of the basic elements that AI currently does at workplaces, it eliminates all the redundant work. So if you take ourselves, like, for example, if I'm going to go for washing clothes, I am coming from, first floor to ground floor. On the way, if I see something, I'll pick it up, put it in the place. I'll pick up and, I'll fold the clothes. So, you do 10 other things except besides putting your washing for. So I think AI does the same, You ask them, but it looks at different sorts of information, brings it together, and then gives you, a nice draft of it. So, but that has been a big game changer in, I think, bringing women to the forefront because, like you said, I really like the word homemaker. That's what I think. We were homemakers, or ladies were homemakers, and that's the role we always have to. We have to have that hat on, irrespective. I think it's now extending that role besides. And
once the children get a bit older, finding you again. I think that's important for women.
Absolutely.
That.
That's spot on. And like, you're a teacher, so you see.
Yeah, of course.
See, that's where
I go through my phases where I'm thinking I'd love to have a remote job which can fit better around my children, be able to drop them off to school and come back. My husband is very supportive in that. So when I was working, he was in fact dressing the children, dropping them off to school. I would collect them after school because it easier for us.
Yeah.
Even you're saying about the clothes on the floor and whatnot.
Yeah.
I'm going to be honest. I'm guilty. He's better than me at cleaning in that regard. So you know,
It's
I
the
always
case.
class him as having OCD.
Yeah.
And I would leave it and I just run
That's
past it.
Yeah.
It's a good thing.
Yeah.
No, it's just the fact that, you know, I mean, the fact that like sometimes we say they're supportive, but why do we feel that they're supportive? They should be sharing the responsibility.
Yeah.
And that's why I feel that if I'm doing the cooking, you do the cleaning.
Cleaning,
And
yeah.
it's been hard. It's very easy. I'm telling you today. It's taken me a lot of mind gaming, you know.
Yeah,
the-
of course. Especially, I think, with our generation growing up and getting married, we thought we had to fall into that gender role bias as well. Though the woman's job is the
Absolutely.
woman's
Parents
job.
were
like
Yes,
that.
yeah, and the man's job
Yeah.
was a man's job.
Yeah.
And I think that encompasses International Women's Day as well. Understand that that's not just a gender bias roles, even in your
Yeah.
own houses.
You're absolutely right. I when I moved from my country to here, and I was very young, you know, like at that time, I just had this in my mind that boys don't enter the kitchen. I had this, and you know, it was like, but why? I never questioned it because, like you said, you know, we just saw that in the house, and um, but I think our generation has been quite a catalyst to be able to make things better.
I think women have excelled, haven't they?
They
Because
have.
we're still the homemaker, you're right. But we also now, we're career women, we're out there just achieving everything that you do want to achieve. So I think it's very personal. Some women, you know, they're at home, they're looking after their children, they're doing such a brilliant job. And that's to be commended.
Yeah.
I have a lot of nieces in our family, so more nieces and nephews I've got.
Yeah.
And I'll tell my own experience. So I invited family over for iftari. So my husband, he helps out and whatnot, and so he's washing the dishes. And I said, "Oh, just pass that dish to my husband." I said, "Oh, come just get that dish." And then my dad was sat right there at the table. So my dad says, "Fozia," and I said, "Yes."
Yes, Dad.
And he says, "The girls are watching you." And I said, "Make sure you get that other dish for my husband as well. Get that dish, pass that dish to him as well." And he doesn't mind that either because it's a good influence and they need to recognize and watch that this is men can do all these jobs as well. You know, when I got married, I went to my in-laws' house. I remember my father-in-law picked that big patilla up and he was washing it. It was a massive culture shock to me, you know. So it's about helping women and making women understand that you don't have to have that burden. It's not your responsibility to purely do
Making
all
it
of
normal,
that.
isn't it?
It is,
You've
yeah.
got to normalise it because it shouldn't be seen as, oh wow, your husband's helping or they're looking after the kids or they're
No,
cooking.
no, absolutely.
It's a partnership, they should be helping.
Yeah. Iram, just going back into the IT world for women then, obviously you talked about breaking barriers there. So are there any sort of mentorship programs or anything like that at all that, you know?
Yes, so there are one locally here. You have technology management. They run, you know, sometimes they run programs for the girls to come in and you know, visit and see how well they are excelling.
Excellent.
Yeah, and then recently where I work, Transparity, which has been acquired by Expedition has been acquired, sorry, by Transparity.
Yeah.
They ran, you know, bring your daughter to work.
Oh, yes.
Yes,
Yeah.
and it's a really nice way to show them. And then so those are different ways, but I think the girls they just need to get that initiative in themselves because one of the things is and that may be again it's still a gap because like I've come across a few girls recently. They're working in some really nice organizations, and they were complaining about, oh, they're telling me to travel, and I asked,
Okay, Iram, I'm going to interrupt you there.
Yeah.
Believe it or not, we're almost end
Oh.
of our first segment. So
great.
we will come back and we will continue with this conversation.
Hello, Alvina. Alvina. Hello.
Okay, good evening. Well, keep saying good evening, maybe because it's a fast, I don't know. Okay, so welcome back again onto Iman One. You are listening to Lou's Sisters, and today we are celebrating International Women's Day. So, Zahid Shah has been in touch, and he will be ringing in very shortly. But I'm going to go straight into a text message that is coming, and it says, "This Woman's Day, I wish that every woman feels valued, respected, and empowered. Your dreams deserve wings, your voice deserves to be heard, and your journeys deserve endless appreciation. Keep rising and inspiring the world with your strength and spirit. Happy Women's Day." And that is from VJ Jassel. So thank you for that, VJ. Really appreciate that. And also, I did say that Zahid will be calling in. Now, let me just do you a little introduction. And this is our loose brother for today, Zahid Shah. Now, Zahid is a cricket player, disciplined, focused, and probably the most calmest person in this room from what we experience. But today, Zahid has a big job representing the male perspective on International Women's Day. So, Zahid, no pressure. How are you?
How you doing? You okay? Can you hear me, guys?
Yes, we can hear you.
Yeah, well, what is it? It's Women's International Day.
It is, yes.
Yo, it's the Women's International Day at my house every day.
Oh,
I don't-
bless you.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Because you ladies are the boss. You ladies are the bosses, aren't you? So I don't know why you're having an International Day, but look, it's nice that there's International Day out there because there are women out there who don't get the equality. And one thing about Islam is we have equality for our women, don't we?
Yeah, I mean, Zahid, let me ask you a question then. So, do you
Well,
think there is still pressure on women to prove themselves more to men? What better person to ask?
yeah. Sorry. What was the question? Hold on.
Do you think women are faced with more pressure to prove themselves to men?
Yeah, they are. I mean, especially in the work environment. I don't think women get equality. It's getting better in this country now.
Yeah.
But when you look at other countries like Pakistan and India and places like that,
Yeah.
the equality isn't there, and it's because I believe that from living in Pakistan for about 3 or 4 years straight, it's because women aren't given the same platform, and I think the UK is getting better. I wouldn't say it's a lot, it's a lot better, but it is getting better where they're not just looking at, people look the right, they're looking for the right person for the job, not the right man for the job. It's the right man or woman for the job. Does that make sense?
Yeah. Okay. Thanks for that. So stay on the line, and please feel free to chip into the conversation then, Zahid. Okay.
Yeah, Alvina, thank you very much. I'll be back to normal next week. I just had a little bit of a emergency that I have to sort out.
No problem, brother, because I really appreciate you ringing in, and you are sort of contributing to the show, and I really appreciate that. I'm just going to go back to Iram because we were talking about mentorship programs, and we were also off air talking about jobs where women have to go. Shall we expand on that, because I thought that was quite an interesting conversation that we were having?
Yeah, definitely. So I think it goes both ways, I would say. In the current situation of things, like I said, our generation has been the catalyst, but the next generation has to grasp that opportunity, take it, and then take it forward. They need to show that there's everybody will keep talking about men and women are equal. They're not equal. They're not the same. So they can't be equal. Women are women. Men are men. Let's just keep that apart. And we are individuals. Just like Brother Zahid just said. They're looking for a person. That's what we need to prove to the world as well. That yes, we are the person. We shouldn't be promoted just because we are women. We should be promoted because we have the skills. And I think as far as mentorship is there, people are there. People are available. If anybody is looking for some guidance, for some mentorship, I'm more than happy to help out, assist and guide. But the other person has to grasp it. I won't be giving them a job. I can guide them to take it. And I think that's quite critical for the generation, just because of their attention span. And like I said, this is why I say it's generation. Where I've seen girls are excelling. They are excelling generally, but they just need to take it, carry it forward, and we need to have it across the board.
I agree with you there. Fozia, then would you say there's more girls then staying in education and aiming for big professional careers, I'm going to say?
So I've been in teaching for almost 18 years. And I think there's been a big change, especially in our background, our cultures, in the women now, the girls, should we say, who want to go into bigger careers and better careers. Expanding their horizons, thinking about going abroad. I initially wanted to be a meteorologist, but that entailed me having to go to Florida, and I wasn't able to pursue that then, so I just stayed local, even though I did go to a different city to study.
Okay.
But nowadays that's not a hindrance, and a lot of women are able to pursue their dreams and do what they want to do.
So do you think that the schools are then encouraging ambition regardless of gender then?
Most definitely. They are.
That's a good.
Alvina, can I come in?
Yes,
can I
please,
come
feel
in
free.
after Fozia?
Yeah.
Okay, so
Oh yeah, because I forgot
you
you're a former teacher as well, aren't you, Zahid?
well, I'm a teacher, but the thing is I just want to tell you a little story about my daughter. Yeah, she's a pharmacist. Yeah,
Yeah.
And can everybody say happy birthday to her today? It's her birthday today as well.
Oh, happy
Oh,
birthday to
happy
her.
birthday.
Yeah,
Kubra, isn't it?
it's Kubra. Yeah, Kubra Batul.
Yeah.
So let me just quickly tell you a story of what happened. My daughter, she did her A levels. She went to a school in Wolverhampton called Girls High. Did her A levels there. Got really great grades, and what happened was what? Can you hear me, guys?
Yeah, we can hear you, yes.
Yeah. What happened is I've turned up and my wife's opened the door and she looks very upset. I said, "What's up?" And she goes, "Oh, everybody's here." I said, "Who's everybody?" So I went in and God bless my dad. He's passed away. He was there. My mom was there. My mom looked at me, looking at me to say, "I got nothing to do with this." You can see her body language, and all my cousins are there, elders, and saying, "You can't send your daughter to university." I said, "You what? You can't send her to university. Kuriyan kharab ho jandiyan." I said, "What are you talking about?" I said, "My daughter's going to go to university. I don't care. I don't care what you guys think. I trust my daughter, right? And that's it." I said, "Listen, if you wanna have a little meal, you can stay here. But if you want to talk about my girl and her future, there's the door, man. Get out." And I said to my mum and dad, I said, "I'm disappointed. What are you two doing here?" My mum goes, "Oh, I didn't want to come. They forced your dad to do this and that, and they got into his head and that kind of thing." And then afterwards, when my daughter graduated, guess who was the proudest man on the planet? It was my dad. Do you know what I mean? So,
Well,
this is what I'm trying to say to you. Our girls have been stopped from going to further education. So, Fozia just saying she wanted to be a marine biologist. Her father should have booked the ticket and got her on there. You get me?
Yeah.
yeah, I know, but
But there could be personal circumstances that might be stopping him from doing it.
yeah, of course. And
So-
then I wasn't stopped from going to university though, so I did
Yeah.
go away. I did go to Sunderland. My other sister went to Leeds. My other sister went to Leicester, and there was a lot of trust there as well. But in those days, don't forget, as I was talking about over 22 years ago, it was very different. That my dad was quite empowering of us. He allowed us to go to Canada with the school, but I think there was limits. Yeah. And going abroad would have been a big taboo.
Yeah, it would have been.
Yeah.
It's due to
No,
circumstances as well, I think.
you, there is circumstance, yeah, and I do appreciate that. But what I'm trying to say is our girls, were held back. God knows how many Kubras were out there who were forced not to go to university because of these kind of, rubbish mentalities. Does that make sense?
Just like you said earlier on as well, Zahid, Islam is very big on education. And
Absolutely,
it's very big on
equality
and
as
Iqra
well.
bismi rabbika allazi
and
khalaq,
just
innit? Read in the
educate,
name of thy Lord.
educate.
It's got a lot of emphasis actually to educate, and they always, I mean, in Islam, there's a there's a keen focus from day one. If you see the example of our Prophet's wife, she was a businesswoman. She was the businesswoman, and she was quite what do you say, a main person who discussed a lot of decisions and elements, and so it's just that. But I think Brother Zahid has what he just said is a great example that it's not the women, it's the men as well who act. The fact that he stepped into the house and was able to just say, "It's my daughter, I take the decision," which is what I saw in my father.
So back with me, I wasn't able to go abroad or not, but however, within 3 years it changed for my younger sister. So she went to Egypt to study Arabic for a year, and then she went to Ireland, Peace Convention Centre as well. So she was allowed to do all of that. Times change. My eldest sister is she's a psychologist. I think she comes on the radio show as well.
She does, yeah.
Yeah, she does.
She'll
yeah.
be here today.
She went to
3:30.
Leeds University. She went to, yeah.
I think I'd like to share my story. I think
Okay.
my dad, when I finished my A-levels, he just said, "Do whatever you want to do, but you have to stay in Wolverhampton." And I hadn't thought too seriously about education, so I literally rang up and I went through clearing,
Yeah.
and I said, "What courses have you got left in Wolverhampton?" This is really embarrassing to be in that situation. And they put me on an economics degree. So I did this degree. I did a year of it, sorry. I hated it. I went there every day. I got the train to Telford. I was at the Telford campus at the time.
Wow.
And I was looking out the window every day thinking, what on earth am I doing here? I just absolutely hated economics. And I went back home and I started working in a nursing home, and I said to my dad, "I've applied to Bradford University." Me and another girl that worked in a nursing home, I said, "We're both going." was not very happy. I went to Bradford. I did my nursing degree there. I spent 3 years over there. Came back, and I think their fear, like Brother Zahid just said, about career crowd. I think that's what my parents initially thought, because I was one of the first girls in our family to go away to uni. I came back with my degree, worked, and then got married. Later on, I did my midwifery, but my dad could not be any prouder of me now. So I think it is just about not proving people wrong, I guess, but
it's breaking those barriers, isn't it? The perceptions that people have out there.
Yeah, especially the men in our family now. A lot of my nieces are abroad studying as well, so they're not even in England. So that's like a norm now.
Yeah.
it's those opportunities again.
It is, yeah, not hindering the child's progression or whatever career they want to go into just because they didn't achieve the grades.
I'd like to add that. I mean, because it's great, we both were from UK. I wasn't from UK.
It's nice to have your perspective.
Yes, so I'm from India. I'm a proper Delhiite, I would say. So I studied in a convent education because it was a girls' school. But my parents always gave me wings, and I still remember, I got married while I was doing my post-graduation. I had my daughter when I was still studying. I started working, and I think somehow I must give credit to the men in our family. I didn't see that when I came here. My husband's take was, do whatever you want. Why are you stuck with just looking after the child? That's not your job. Yeah, we need to look after together. Although he himself was struggling, and he's been a very key person in pushing me. He's always been, encouraging, and the only drift we have is he doesn't like me wearing the scarf all the time, though. So he said, you maybe that's your motivation to go out and yes. But yes, somehow the men in our family were, they always gave us a ceiling. They kept us rooted, but they let us have our dreams. So being in the IT industry at that time was not one of the females, thinking. But I was never stopped. I never thought that. I never had that in my mind that being a female, I should not think about it. So that was definitely a big, back home. We had that general culture, and I think most of my friends are very, very well placed across the globe, and some really great, vice presidents, banks. One of my very, very good friends, Iram, she's in politics. Oh God! But that's the kind of girls we were. We thought the world is our oyster and we can conquer it. And I feel that that's something I want to translate in today's girls, but I don't see it that much. There seems to be, again, maybe something generational happening, but I feel that they are trying to limit themselves sometimes, rather than saying, "So what? I can do that." That sort of an attitude was something which was instilled in me, probably. But that's kept me going.
I think because us growing up around our time, I feel like there was a lot of stigma around women and what they were allowed to do and not allowed to do. So we had to push those boundaries. Whereas the girls nowadays, they're not growing up with those same, limitations. And you're a girl, no, garden, you're not allowed to do this. So that for them, they want everything on a plate as well. Sometimes.
I think that's what I meant. Yes. That's what I meant. That it's the other side that we're seeing that. But yeah, you're right. I think they didn't have to fight that war, or I shouldn't use the word war, sorry, but they didn't have to fight it.
Battles, yeah.
Yes, so I think they just they don't realize what has gone into to achieve this. But let's see. I think the girls are still doing really well. So
Yeah.
I think so. I think our daughters are a prime example, aren't
definitely.
they? So obviously we've talked about balancing family, careers to expectations around appearance, workplace pressures, and the list can go on. So what challenges do women still face today and society doesn't talk about enough?
You are expected to, for example, you get married, you're expected to be the doctor and take on the role of doing a lot for the family, but you're still expected to, as a wife, you're still expected to provide the money, go out and work, and meet your husband halfway, contribute towards what you need to contribute towards. It's they didn't have to do all the other things that we're expected to do. I think that's quite tough sometimes.
You're right. It's all about work-life balances and the pressures that you face.
As a Muslim, though, you know, in Islam, we're not expected to pay towards the bills. We're not expected to financially support our children. That's all the man's responsibility. And a lot of people nowadays, though, however, do have this 50-50 rule as well.
Yeah.
And even as a Muslim, they do. And I've got 2 boys, and I'm raising them, you know, God willing, hopefully as well, to understand that their role as a Muslim man in their house will be to financially provide, and provide for their wife and their children, and not expect the wife to have to go out there. You know, I was talking to somebody else about this, you know, how we have our hormones and we are constantly on a roller coaster. If it's not our period, it's our perimenopause. If it's not that, it's our ovulation cycle, you know, peaking all of a sudden, you know. And it's, I know you're not Muslim, Sunita, but just from an Islamic perspective, in the Quran it does say as well to look after your women and do not try to straighten a crooked rib, because if you do, it'll break. And women, we're like that. We're soft nurtured as well. You know, we have our ups and downs, but a man should look after us. And I think not that I'm being anti-International Women's Day as well. I 100% agree with that. However, I think having my own experiences through perimenopause, women do need looking after to some extent as well sometimes. Yeah.
I think the challenges I see, I mean, I meet women from all diverse backgrounds, and I really think, you know, they're always concerned about maternity leave and how they're going to cope. And because they are all women from all backgrounds, they're all contributing financially, because before people used to live in extended families and everybody lived together, so that financial burden was shared and it was all dealt with within the house. But now when people move out, they're, you know, having these nuclear families or just move out and live by themselves, but that does come with a financial implication. And I think most people tend to work and put that financing together.
I'm going to bring Zahid into this. Zahid, I know this question doesn't really go to you, but I want you to sort of explain it from the male perspective. Now, men sometimes, they don't recognize the invisible responsibilities that women carry. Would you agree or disagree with that statement?
You know, can I just, you know, when you're talking about challenges that the women have, yeah. Okay, can I just put another one of the greater challenges our women have, South Asian ones especially, is, you know, when the daughter-in-law comes into the house, yeah, she doesn't get treated like a daughter. She gets treated like a second or third class citizen, right? You know what I mean? And that's something I've seen quite a lot. You know, oh, these are my daughters, but that's my daughter-in-law. Wait there. What about? She's somebody's daughter as well. She's coming to your house. Welcome her on board. And I've noticed that, you know, at least 80% of daughter-in-laws who come into households struggle because they do not get accepted as, you know, they're always treated like an outsider. You know what I mean? And I think that is another challenge that you guys probably aware of or aren't aware of, but it happens all the time. I mean, I've got experiences myself, and I'm just saying that you missed out on that one.
Okay, so how can communities then better support women who are in that position?
Well, the thing is what I hate about communities is we talk about Islam, right? But nobody actually follows Islam, do they? So what the communities need to do is they need to understand that the role of a daughter-in-law is to come in and fit in as one of the daughters who's come in, not a slave who comes in and just stays in the kitchen cooking the food and whatever. And if you don't do that, you're not a daughter-in-law. And then you've got to contribute financially as well. You know, you've got to come back and you've got to do this and you've got to do that. So, you know, people have got to look at themselves and say, well, look, if we're going to be Muslim or we're going to be South Asian, let's take the culture out of it. You know, let's look at this, let's educate the communities out there that, you know, if you get girls coming into your household as a daughter-in-law, right, treat her like a daughter. This is, I'm telling you, you'd be. There's so many issues that happen just in Wolverhampton. Forget anywhere else.
Do you know,
that your daughter-in-law struggle.
Do you know, Zahid? I was going to say though, in Islam as well, the woman is supposed to have her own house, her own, if not a house, her own headquarters, like her own flat or apartment. I think this. codependent living and everything is what causes problems in the first place. And that's why Islam has given so many liberations to women over 1400 years ago.
Can I add on?
Yeah.
Because I mean, I have a daughter, so and I was a daughter as well. I think it's a two way communication. When we are marrying our daughters, or when our daughters are getting married, are we looking into
Yeah.
that? Are we making sure? Are we educating our daughter about marriage, just as we are talking about a career? Because that's another career that they're going to be taking up. They are going to be homemakers. They are expected to be somebody's wife. And again, I think it's two-way because a lot of girls also, if they've become career oriented, they look down upon their mother-in-laws. I've seen both. This is why I'm saying it's both ways. But currently, if both try, and
Yeah,
again,
but don't you think the mother-in-law should make a bit more of an effort? Don't you think so? I mean, why is it
yeah,
that
yeah,
the daughter-in-laws have to keep on
then
making the effort?
but she may not know what's the effort that's required as well. Because if she starts saying, "Oh, should I?" You know, it's sometimes the balance between the two.
Can I just add to that as well? I think that the husband plays a big role in this.
Yes.
And I think
Yes.
that being the son and the husband, if you know what your mother is like, or if you know your wife's going to get upset over a certain thing, keep the limits and boundaries there as well. So then that won't be too much stress for you either, because no doubt he'll hear it from both sides.
Okay, so we've got about 40 seconds. So obviously we've heard some powerful stories here from the panel, and it really reminds us that inspiration doesn't always come from famous names. Sometimes it's the women quietly supporting families, communities, workplaces every single day. Now, that's the spirit of International Women's Day. I'm going to come back more onto this topic straight after the break, and it'll give us some time for you as well to reflect. If you want to take part in the conversations, give us a call on 01902 972 150, or drop us a text on 074 404 20432. Drop us a question and we'll be more than happy to take it forward.
Alvina, can I go? Hello. Hello.
Okay, welcome back to the final segment of Lou Sisters. It's International Women's Day, and obviously it reminds us that progress has been made, but the journey continues for most of us, and every woman who supports another woman helps move things forward, which we've obviously picked up throughout the show. Now, one of the strongest messages today is obviously women supporting women, but sometimes we hear the opposite: competition, criticism, comparison. So how do we build stronger communities where women genuinely lift each other up?
I think you have to lift each other up, because that's how you show support,
Yeah.
and that you're truly there for your friends, your family. And it shouldn't be something that you're asked to do. You either genuinely from your heart you mean it, and that's why you do it. I think if I had to keep asking, oh, can you just do this for me, I would feel like, no, this isn't my person, they're not really there for
Yeah.
me. You know, I'm very blessed. I've got sisters, friends, and everybody. You know, if there's a problem with somebody, you just show up, you just turn up, and being there.
I think a lot of women as well, though, I think we get quite catty and argumentative. You get into fights. Oh, I'm not talking to that woman.
Yes.
You know, oh God, how dare she say that about me? Oh, did you see how she looked at me? And I think once we drop those barriers as well, and rather than thinking like that, and just think, okay, I'm happy for that person as well. You know, it's nice they've got that. It's about not being jealous of somebody.
Yeah.
You know, being proud of what they've achieved, of what they've gotten, or what
Being
they've
happy
have in
for
their
them.
life. Yeah, absolutely. And then when you're happy for them, you'll be happy for yourself, and then you'll want to empower more women. It's those positive vibes, isn't it?
It is. I think also I do come across quite negative people, and my way of dealing with it is I just stay away from them. The people I have that surround me
Some
are
people,
people
you have to do that
who are
too,
like-minded.
unfortunately. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think you're right, because obviously sport builds confidence, it builds opportunity, and obviously there's a community that we can all, face and rely on. So when women collaborate, they're not competing, which is amazing thing to see. So, Sunita, from your perspective, then, women supporting each other during pregnancy and motherhood, that can make a huge difference, can't it, emotionally and mentally? Because you must have seen so many, I'm going to say, case studies of people in certain situations.
Yeah, I do. I think domestic violence, for example, we have women that come, you know, moved into Wolverhampton to make them safe. And you do find sometimes they're very isolated. They end up with no friends or family. Nobody's around them. But the staff, we are there for them. So when they go into labour, for example, we they get a bit more TLC. We're with them a bit more. Other women, you can leave when they're in labour because a partner's there, or a sister's there, or the mum's there. They've got somebody with them.
Yeah.
But when we know that women are from really unfortunate backgrounds, we make a point of make sure this lady's supported in labour. And if they're on the midwife-led unit, for example, they get the one-to-one anyway, but we tend not to leave the room. We stay with them, and we really are. I mean, midwife means to be with woman, and that really does come through.
Now, it's funny that when we were off air, we talk about so many topics. And Fozia, I'm going to pick on you now. Obviously, you talked about obviously young girls when they see other women. And they encourage them, and you gave an example of your own daughter, showing them what's possible. Do you want to elaborate more on that?
In respect
In respect of like seeing you as an example as a mother.
Okay. Yes, yeah.
Yeah.
So it's important to have self-care for yourselves and resting your body when you need to rest
Rest
your
it,
body.
that's it, yes,
yeah.
yeah.
And I think growing up when I was younger,
Yeah.
I wasn't taught those boundaries and listen to your body, listen to yourself. And
Yeah.
I think it's important to make sure that I now do that for myself, so my daughter looks up to that and realizes that, hang on, mum's not well, so she's resting, so I need to make sure I'm resting when I'm not well now as well. Otherwise it's a cycle, and it will continue for her as well, and that's going to be hard run by her then. Yeah, and any other woman out there, in fact.
Okay, I'm going to move on now to social media as well. Now, sometimes that creates competition between women as well. So I know it's easy to compare ourselves to others online, which is easily done, but often we're only seeing the highlight reel of it. Give a typical example, like a young teenager going to school. She's fit, she's perfect, she's a size 8, I will say. And then what does she see? She sees other people dieting, and that influences. So how would you sort of talk your daughter through a situation like that? Because sometimes you find that they might become anorexic and other problems lead to another, and then they end up being hospitalized. what sort of help can we give these young girls?
There's no one rule fits all, to be honest, because it's a lot to do with what are the circumstances. But I think as a ground rule, we need to give our children a safe haven in our
own homes.
in homes. They should be able to come. I don't mind if they're seeing somebody dieting, but they should feel comfortable and talking to us. This is happening.
Yeah.
What's it all about? And we have honest conversations around that. So I'll give you a classic example. Nowadays, there's a pill that helps you lose weight. Very common. I've got 2 doctors in the house. Both and both have contradictory, conflicting views about it.
Oh, right.
Because and then ultimately it was about, but we had very detailed conversations around it. And then it's about just having that open and honest conversations, be it medication, be it dieting, be it about the fact that girls can they stay out, meeting somebody. My daughter, she came once and she said, "Oh, I like this guy," and my husband was like, "Oh, is he good looking? Can you show me the picture?" So the fact that he reacted in that way broke up. I mean, I was looking at him and I was like, what is he saying? What is he doing? That's not the conversation. But that helped break the barrier. She felt comfortable talking to, and I think that's very important. It's about giving the safe haven.
So, yeah, absolutely. So with my daughter, she's 13 now. And I think for me, what I did was intentionally, when a really skinny person would come on the TV, or if there was models who were really skinny as well, because I look anorexically skinny, these models do as well, let's be honest.
Yeah.
I would purposely say, "Oh gosh, that looks horrible.
Yes.
Look how skinny she is."
Yes.
So she wouldn't want to look up to that and think that that's the right body type or the right body frame to have.
Yeah.
And I think that did help her. And she does say it to me now, when we're done, "Oh God, yeah, that's too skinny." And that's
My daughter, she's tiny. She's a size 8. But when she was going through her teenage years, she really had, not body dysmorphia, but she really felt like underdeveloped compared to her friends. And it did play a lot on her mind. But now she's taught herself. She does a lot of self-care. She goes to the gym. She eats really well. And she's just developing her body and changing it. And she's really happy with herself now. She's still very slim, but she feels healthy and she feels strong and she feels really well. And that's really, it's about empowering them really to make those right choices. So we looked at her diet, what kind of foods do you want to eat? And she really is. I mean, she's gone to uni now. She's away at uni, but she really looks after herself and she's made it. Every day she'll go to the gym when she's at uni and she's following like a really healthy eating plan. But I like to see that because now I'm not worried about her. Whereas before, psychologically, she just didn't feel very confident in herself because she was quite slim, thin.
Okay. So what practical ways then can we uplift other women then?
I think by building a strong, supportive community of women around you.
Yes.
That can share good advice with you. So it's like, Sunita, you mentioned a point earlier about having or taking out those toxic people out of your life. So you've got that positive circle around you. And when you have that, I think that empowers a lady and empowers yourself as well to achieve more and believe in yourself.
I think when friendships end, that's quite hard. My older daughter, she's got another friend that she went to school with. And she said, "Mom, when I meet her, we've just got nothing in common anymore." And I said, "But that's okay. That's not that you're going to leave her behind. It's okay to kind of go your separate ways. And you're always going to bump into her. You'll always say hello and be polite, but you don't need to force yourself to continue to take time out to meet her and then you're struggling and you're not actually enjoying being together." And I think helping them understand that that's okay. And it's a healthy attribute to have, to be able to recognise that this is not serving, it's not bringing me joy. I've got friends that I only meet once a year. So in January, there's 3 of us. And since 2009, we've met up every year. We catch up on the entire year in that lunch. And we've made it a thing. And I love that. And I don't see them at all during the year. But I mean, the odd text here and there. But, I love that. I know we'll do that forever. We will always meet up in January for our birthday.
That's nice.
It's just nice.
So with my 5-year-old, going back a bit younger now, talking about friendships, it does not cue if you've got a friend that they don't want to play with you or something, they get upset about it. But I've taught my 5-year-old that if somebody doesn't want to play with you, that's okay. They don't have to. And you shouldn't feel the need that, "Oh God, I'm inferior now. I don't feel like I can't do something." Of course, I didn't use the word inferior to her. But, you should feel like you can go and play with somebody else and do something else as well. So it's laying those foundations again. So when they're older, they can meander through their lives, whatever life throws at them.
Do you
Yeah.
think it's more common with girls? I've got friends. I've got my son is 10, but all my other school mum friends have got girls, and they're really struggling with the girls and making friends, and it's become quite an issue. And do you think it is more? Of
Do you
an
know,
issue
like
with
do you know
girls?
how I mentioned earlier, girls can get catty?
Yeah,
I think it is to do with that and hormones, perhaps as well.
I think it's just I think it's to individuals. I think it's all a very individual approach and things. My girl, I mean, and Alvina's daughter, they met at a very odd stage. They didn't have much in common initially, and they've grown to be good friends.
Yeah.
They haven't met for years, but they still,
In touch.
yeah. And then she especially said, "Please make sure you invite." I was like, "Can't you just do the invite?" And she was like, "No." So it's like, it depends. And I think girls, we just evolve because we take on so many roles. That may be one of the reasons why. But I think we need a stronger collaboration platform. I'm going to talk about Wolverhampton right now because that's where we are. But I think that's a start. I think we definitely need a strong place because there are people who need help. There are people who are ready to help. How do we bridge the gap? That's where we need to probably start working on or look at. But I think that's very essential. And again, some people can take the leadership role of ironing out those elements because it's going to be a difficult path.
Right. Okay. So this has been an important conversation for us because obviously empowerment isn't about individual success. It's about lifting others up along the way. Now, I want to quickly, as part of International Women's Day as well, I want you to take some time now to think about giving back. Yeah. Now, many charities, as you know, support women facing hardship, domestic abuse, which obviously Sunita touched upon, financial struggles and lack of opportunity as well. So donations, whether money, time or skills, can make a real difference. So do you think people underestimate the power of small donations? Giving back.
Yeah, I think when people talk about giving back, a lot of people think about it in monetary terms. I think that's the easiest part, but it's about time.
Yeah.
People giving the time, that's so important. And a lot of people are trying to do that, and that's amazing.
My sister, my elder sister Atya, she's very big on the mosque and helping out, and she's a Sisters UKM lead as well. And I look at her, and how you were saying with Alvina, she's wearing so many hats.
Yeah.
My sister, honestly, I've got admiration for her. And then sometimes I have to sit back and think she needs to take a break sometimes as well, though. But she's doing this sessions at the mosque, and she's leading the Holqa session. So these ladies come together. It's bringing women out of the homes as well who have probably, feeling low mood or having issues at home or whatnot. And it's allowing them to come into the mosque and interact with women around them.
In
So
isolation.
that's right. So it's removing that from that as well. So that empowers them as well, and it makes them feel
Yes,
validated, and they have that support network around them. Yeah.
I think giving back doesn't always have to be money. It can be even social media, spreading the message, sharing something, just spreading that message across really, and that also helps.
So what do you think motivates people to give to charity then?
I think if it makes them feel good and if they truly believe in giving back. And I think for some people it would depend on what the charity is, because I've known people say, well, I'm not donating to that, but they will to something else. I think it's got to mean something to that
To
person.
them, yes, yeah.
As
Okay.
long as it gives them a sense of accomplishment, gives them a sense of meaning, and it can all differ. But yeah, it's just giving that sense, which is what drives.
And I think, like you said, it doesn't have to be monetary though
Yeah.
either.
Yeah.
It is just picking up the phone perhaps and ringing somebody saying, hey, how are you? Haven't seen you in a few days. How have you been? Because with my own experience with perimenopause, I did cut everybody out, and I just sat there, and I was for me, it was my safe zone then. And a lot of people were busy now, and I didn't realize that. And if I'm not going to be saying to people, oh, hang on a second, I need some support, I think I'm going a bit downhill now, right? And then it's finally when I started saying things that people understood, okay, she needs that support now. And that helps.
I'll give you a good example, that you mentioned. So one of my friends, recently, she was the jovial one always, but she was not on social media, and she started posting, small clippings every day on Facebook. And I'm not a social media fan, although I'm in IT. But she's been doing that, and I've just seen the comments coming from all our classmates, all the friends. It just makes our day. We now actually wait for it,
Oh.
and we asked her, you were gone, like we were not there. She's like, it just makes me happy that when I see 2 of you comment, I know that you've watched it, so I just do it, and that just built that. So she came out of her, what you say, hibernation mode. But those are small things, and I'll give you, the inspiration was our teachers.
Oh.
You won't imagine, they are on Facebook traveling, doing a travel log. We
Wow.
are all hooked onto those, and we are just on the
Sharing
social
the
media
journey,
because
aren't
of
you?
that.
Yeah,
Exactly.
following.
Yes.
I think on the flip side, if I see, like, I've definitely had a friend that I haven't seen very often, and she keeps posting things like quite sad things, and it did actually make me pick up the phone. I said, "Are you okay? I've just seen a few strange posts from you."
Yeah.
And then she said, "I am okay. Thank you for ringing." She goes, "But I'm just going through a tough time."
Oh.
And she said, "I'm really touched that you've seen that and you've picked up the phone." And then we had our, really good catch up. We had a chat, but I think sometimes when people are posting, pay attention to what they're posting.
Yeah,
Because if
definitely.
they are posting things that make you think, are they okay? Maybe, it was that talk that we're doing about building women up. It is about picking up the phone or just popping in on them, just checking in. On
Checking
people.
in, yeah.
Yeah.
I think when they're doing on social media, if they're posting all very nice, happy pictures, I think that those should be alarm bells for us as
Yeah.
friends. As friends, those should be big alarm bells. If there are only happy moments all the time, because, and if it's like consistently happening, those are some tips you can literally, and picking up that phone can make a huge difference.
I think because going through perimenopause as well. I just felt like, I know I've said it to you already, but I just felt like I needed to be wrapped up in cotton wool. Do you know that? And I'm a very stoic lady, I'll be honest. I'm very strong-headed, independent, if everybody knows me. But when those symptoms hit me, they hit me hard. Yeah. And I think
Can
it's,
affect people differently as well.
yeah,
Yeah.
definitely.
I think that will make a good subject matter for
Another day.
Lou Sisters, definitely. Something that we need to talk about and expand on as well. Right, okay, we're going to go into a fun round now. And this is Who Runs the World, okay? So it's time for, I think we need a bit of a fun round now just to
Hey, go
change
on then.
things a bit. So I'll say a situation and I want the panel, you've got to answer quickly. The first thing that comes into your head, okay? So you can shout your answers out. So
That's not very wise.
so you can shout your answers out. So who runs the world at home?
Me.
Me?
I knew that was okay. So definitely women then. Okay. So who handles finances better?
My husband.
No one.
Both of us, actually.
Both of you. Okay. So mixed reaction there. So who is better at multitasking?
Me.
Okay. It's never the men, is it?
No.
Pity Zahid's not on the line. Okay. And who is better at asking for directions?
Me.
I think Satnav does the job.
I sat nav everywhere, even in Wolverhampton. I'll do visits.
Yeah.
Sat-nav can go wrong sometimes. It doesn't get
Yeah.
you to your
Takes you the
exact
long way
direct, yeah,
round.
and it doesn't get you to your direct destination at
Yes,
times.
but when it goes wrong, my husband will still trust it than me. So that's why I said Satnav.
Right. Okay. Now I'm glad both of you said sat nav. So is it a male voice or a female voice?
Oh, I have Tim. I have
Female.
Tim.
You have Tim.
Mine's female.
Purely because I don't know. I mean, the female voice is a bit shrill for me. That's all. That's all. That's all.
Okay. So who is more organized?
Women.
My daughter.
Okay. Funny you should say daughter. Why is that? I thought you was more organized.
No,
Iram.
she's very organized. She wears the hat of a daughter now, a daughter-in-law, and she's doing medicine, and so I think I can give credit to her now.
Oh, wow.
Yes.
A mother uplifting her daughter. That's
Oh,
great.
lovely.
Yes.
I hope the mother-in-law's listening.
She's amazing.
Yeah,
I
mashallah,
think
Mubarak.
one of the reasons why I was very happy for my daughter to get married, I was amazed. She's a brilliant lady. She's really brought up her children amazing, and that's why we're glad to have Fizan. marry my daughter.
Oh, that's lovely.
That's
You know, I pray somebody could say that about me one
Mashallah.
day, inshallah.
Oh.
inshallah.
Yeah.
Inshallah.
In our household, I think organised is going to be me in certain aspects for certain things, and then Asif for certain things as well. So it's shared.
Both get
Yeah,
credit.
with me, I can't take the pantry. I don't want to I don't like clean that out, so that Asif does that, and he manages the garage and stuff like that as well. Whereas the other aspects I manage better.
That's good. Communication is key.
Yep.
Delegating is key. You know, knowing what one likes, what one doesn't
Yes.
like is even more bigger.
My husband is great at planning holidays, but I must give total credit. All I do is go along with him.
That's what a woman should do. Just
I-
pack her bags and
I
go.
do that. I do that with that as well. Yeah,
That's how it should.
Yeah.
yeah.
I think
Right,
In our house, I would say it's,
yeah.
predominantly for the whole family. It's me that does the main organising, but my daughter, who's
Yeah.
just become a teacher, I am seeing real strengths in her, and I think, oh God, she's really quite stern, and she's becoming this person that I never knew she was. You know, she's really organised, she's really disciplined, and she manages her time so well. Whereas I'm always a bit last minute sometimes, and I'll take on way more than I can chew. But she's like, no, I'm not doing that.
But that's credit to you, isn't it? Though you've instilled them from childhood. With her.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
guess, but she's becoming someone pretty phenomenal.
Oh.
That's good.
My-
Uplifting our daughters, that's what I like to
my
see.
daughter's too young. She's 13, although she's uber organised. She's got everything. She's got her little whiteboard.
Oh.
She writes on her
That's
little.
how it starts.
She
isn't
writes
it?
on her mirror as well what she has to do.
Yeah.
Yeah, and she's got everything.
I wonder
sorted.
whether she gets that from you being a teacher then.
Yeah, she does. My board pen's for definite.
Well, there you
Yeah,
go.
writing on the mirror.
That's a great influence there. So, who remembers occasions better, such as birthdays, anniversaries?
Me.
Me.
So, it's always the women once again.
Yeah.
Right, what a fun round there. I'm just going to go straight into a listener's question here. It says, what advice would you give young girls growing up today?
They need to stay rooted
Mm-hmm.
to their. I mean, you know, I know we say that we should not be followers of culture and customs and everything, but we still need to be rooted. It's not that you have to be following everything, but you need to stay rooted and fly with your wings.
I think it's important to also believe in themselves.
Yes.
Believe in
Yeah.
yourself is what I'd say. Love yourself first, so you can obviously then give back to
Absolutely.
everybody else as well. Yeah,
Mm.
yeah.
I would say be as independent as you can. Don't rely on anybody, because you never know what life may throw at you. And having been through it myself, when something happens, you've got to be able to stand on your own 2 feet.
Yeah, I'm going to echo what you said, Sunita, because me and Fozia were having that perfect conversation in the car when we were driving up to the radio station. And I've always said that to my daughter as well. I want her to be confident. I want her to be independent. You do not need a man in your life.
Yep, marriage is not the be all or the end all.
Exactly.
Yes. Yep.
And if you want a diamond ring or a designer bag, you go out and
get
you
it
get it
Yes.
yourself. Yeah. So, yes, good on for that one. And I've got another question here as well. It says, does workplace treat women fairly today then? Because we were having that conversation in the car when we were talking about menopause, weren't we? And I says that our workplace has made sort of facilities available for women to pull themselves away from the desk and just take a bit of chill time, you know, a bit of time off and things like that. So do you think work is now treating women fairly?
I think it depends on where you're placed. Like with a teacher, I couldn't leave the classroom if I wanted to.
Yes.
I'd have to stay there and finish the lesson. Nobody could cover me. Perhaps for yours it's different.
Yeah, I would say our workplace is amazing, to be honest, amazing, and that's why probably we have a lot of females leading as leadership roles.
That's
and
great to see
and,
that.
and you know, working on programs and projects, which can be a male-dominated area sometimes, but we are not. I think, and that glass ceiling has been broken. Yeah.
That's good to hear.
That is
Yeah.
good to hear.
I'm in the NHS. I think things are getting better. I think everything's a bit more recognised now. Like they're doing a lot of perimenopause cafes. They're making arrangements, and they can tell that, you know, if they need a bit more time off.
Okay, I've just got another question that's come in. So, what about our elders? They've lived the cultural transitional life in the UK. What advice would you have for women?
I think again we need to be respectful. We need to continue, and this is why I was mentioning about the mother-in-law part. You know, I understand that yes, they need to be accommodated, but you need to understand they are at a certain age. It's difficult. So I'm not saying we should just give in to it, but it's about giving them respect, doing your duty,
Yes.
You don't have to. It doesn't mean that will make you a low, a person of less this thing. But yes, you can and draw your boundaries.
Yeah, I think they should. I think they shouldn't isolate themselves either.
Yes.
Yes.
That's quite important. You know, there's lots of classes out there. I think there's a few that are going in different mosques as well, variety of mosques. Where they have, I think they've got Gupshup in UKM. That's going to be
Yes.
starting after Ramadan,
Yes,
so you can
yes.
look into that as well.
Yeah.
But not staying at home by yourselves.
So it's
Yeah.
conversations, isn't it? You've got to talk to each other if
Yes.
anyone's struggling with anything,
Yeah.
struggling to adapt or whatever the situation might be. Talk to people, get help, and then you can understand each other.
Yeah, I think this question here, obviously, if someone's coming from abroad, that obviously changing their having a life change sort of a situation, then obviously the partner needs to support the wife more,
Yes.
really. Now we've got 33 seconds remaining, and I can't believe it. It's almost time to end the show. So, what an incredible discussion today, celebrating International Women's Day. We've talked about inspiring women, the importance of supporting each other, and even small acts of kindness and generosity can make a big difference. So big thank you to my amazing panel, Sunita, Iram and Fozia, and Zahid on the phone as well, for such honest and thoughtful conversations. You can catch me again on Lou Sisters next week. Until then, stay safe.